Hey guys, it's your boy Andre back with another video. And today, I know I didn't make a video for a long time, and today I have a topic for you guys. And the topic is that you have to talk. You have to you have to talk out loud about your problems, guys, about what's going on in your head. And if you don't have anyone to talk to, okay, you don't have to talk to someone. Even if you just talk to yourself like I do now. But you have to talk out loud. And you have to someone should give you some questions, or you should give yourself some questions. And this is, I think, partly how therapy works. And the thing is, what happens is when you talk out loud, you give yourself more clarity because you remind yourself the details, parts of the story that you otherwise wouldn't uh, like take in account, that you otherwise wouldn't include in the story that's going on in your head. And I think this is partly how therapy works. What I mean is, like, let's say you have something going on in your head. Okay, you have some problem. Okay, you focus on something. Okay, let's say you had an argument with someone, or you know something is bothering you, and you focus in your head. You will probably focus on one thing, and your mind, what it does sometimes, it keeps spinning. You know what I mean? Like, you sometimes looping, thinking about one thing, something is bothering you, and it just keep looping and looping and looping, and it almost feels like it's getting bigger in your head. And let's say you're getting more angry or more sad or more anxious, and there's just this one thing, and your mind is just repeatedly running in circles around it. Like, I don't know, like somebody told you something bad in the morning. I don't know, whatever, something is going on. You know what I mean? The thing is, when you start to talk out loud about it, like I just start to do now. I have something going on, I have some problems, and I start to talk about it. Now, here, I'm just talking to myself, and I'm telling myself the whole story. And I'm realizing that the problem or that thing that happened, okay, how I got into it, how I got into that situation, and what happens before and what happens after. I just realized that this whole thing had so many. When I start to tell myself the whole story and I start to unreveal what actually happened, I just realized that there's so many other things that happened before and that happened after, and how it's all connected. And you will start to get the whole picture. And slowly you will start to realize the attention will get from one small point that your mind is keeping occupied with, that one point. You will start to, the attention will start to spread around the whole story. Do you know what I mean? It's a similar, like, if it would be a physical problem, let's say. And let's say some people have a strong migraine, okay, or headache, and they go to a doctor. It doesn't always have to be the case, but sometimes they go to a doctor, uh, and the doctor can tell them that it's actually their muscles on their back, because of their bad posture, or because of some injury that they had, or because of work that's putting too much pressure on their back. The muscles in their back and in their legs, for example, are so tired that it's putting a pressure on their neck, and then it's giving them headache. There's cases like this. And there's a lot of other things like that. When you realize that a lot of the symptoms that you have, the root of the problem is somewhere else. Do you know what I mean? And it's always important to cause to to heal the cause of the sickness, right? Not the symptoms. It's one of the problems that we do sometimes, like in a modern medicine, right? That you take a pill, and the pill only heals the symptoms, but doesn't heal the cause of the problem, the root. And it's very important to get to the root. And sometimes you realize that the root is completely somewhere else. Sometimes you can, for example, have a mental problems because of what you eat. Or sometimes you can have your knee can hurt because of, I don't know, the way you walk, or I don't know. But it's very important that you look at the root of the problem. And here it's a similar thing with your mind, if your mind is stuck in some kind of negative loop, okay, or it doesn't have to be negative loop, in some kind of loop, your mind is looping onto something, and it's genuinely making your life difficult. This is what was happening to me now for a few last days. And it's like you are getting stuck in some loop. Part of why you being stuck maybe is also because you don't talk out loud about it. Let's say you isolate yourself, you keep the problem for yourself, you don't want to bother other people, you think other people wouldn't understand you, you don't think it's that necessary to talk about it, you think you just need time and it will, somehow you will find a solution in your mind, or it will just stop. The thing is, it's probably just gonna keep getting worse, because your mind will be keep looping and looping and looping, and this thing will just grow in you. And then it will project externally into your life in some other ways. You will not be yourself, you will be nervous, you will be, you know and this is not how you deal with it. The thing is, when you start to talk out loud about it, it's really good to have some friend, somebody to talk to. you know it can be anyone, just someone willing to listen, because it doesn't even have to be someone who understands you or someone who's professional, even though it's better. If just someone is willing to listen to you, they don't even have to ask you any questions. If just someone is listening to, the act of speaking it out can give you so much clarity, and it can take the attention from that one single point, which is a symptom of what's actually really going on, and it can put the attention to the whole situation, to the whole story, and you can actually find out for yourself. You can have this eureka moment when you find out that the root of the problem, the cause of the problem, is somewhere else. And the thing that's going on in your mind is just a symptom of something. And your mind is just pointing out that there is something that hasn't been solved. Okay? That something is going, and sometimes you can find out that it's totally different, that it's almost like two totally, like, not, that it could be like two things that are not even connected. You would feel like there is no connection between those two things. Let's say you have a problem with your partner, okay? Let's say you argue about something, and let's say it seems like a small thing, or it seems like something that doesn't really matter, but it's really bothering you, let's say, okay? And these things will keep getting stuck in your mind. You will think like, why are they doing this, or why do I feel like this about it, and what's going on, and you will keep thinking like this, and you will get stuck into this negative loop, and you will really not solve anything like this. And then you will talk about it to someone, or you can just talk to yourself. Like, really, if you don't want to talk to someone, talk to yourself. Sit down and literally start to talk about what's bothering you, and imagine that you are your own friend, you are your own therapist. And trust me, it's way different when you talk it out loud, because you will say things that you wouldn't otherwise think in your mind, because your mind is just like on like very simple binary, like pum 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 pum, you know what I mean? Like but when you talk out loud, you will bring more things out, you know and so let's say you start to talk about this problem that you have with this person, and you start to talk, and maybe then you say, some other things that from the past, that, yeah, and when we were there was also happening this, and then happened this, and you know what, when I was a kid, similar thing was happening to me with this person or something. And then you start to get to this, and then you're like, wow, wait a minute. And then you realize, wow, maybe the problem is that I don't know, I don't want to be vulnerable. I am scared of water. Or I don't know, whatever it is. You know what I mean? You will find out that behind this problem, behind this symptom, behind this thing that's running on in your mind, there is actually something else. Okay? And also just talking it out loud gives you a lot of relief. Okay? Because if something is stuck in your mind, and it doesn't have to be just a negative thing, it can be a positive thing, it can be anything. Sometimes we have just something stuck in our mind. We keep thinking about something is going on, we want to do something. We have to express our mind. Okay, it's important that what's inside our mind, we have to express it somehow. All right, it's important. Or art can be good, you know, express it through express your feelings through music, through painting. You don't have to even give it to anyone or someone to see it. Express it. You don't even, it's not just about talking out, it's about expressing what's in your mind. Don't keep that shit inside. It's not shit, but you know what I mean. Don't keep it inside. If something is stuck in your mind, get it out. By talking, by music, by dance, anyhow, get it out. But talking is really good, and especially sharing with a friend. Okay, especially sharing with your friend, with someone who's not gonna judge you, with someone who really wants to listen, and with someone who really wants to actually give you a good advice. And it will make miracles, because you will gain much more clarity. Maybe you will even find a solution, and you will definitely feel lighter. Because if you just keep something in your mind, it can stay there for days, and it can bother your sleep, it can bother your days. And then, because you have this thing in your mind, you can make more mistakes. Let's say you come to work with some negative stuff in your mind. You had a problem with your partner, okay, and you have this thing stuck in your mind, and you will be negative to your colleagues, and then it pisses you off, because you are like, shit, why was I like this with this person, you know, because shit, this thing is bothering me. And maybe you should have just talked to them about it. Maybe you should have talked to your colleague, you know, like say him, look, this and this is bothering me, you know, and then you wouldn't do that mistake. And then, because you have this negative thing in your mind and you're making stupid stuff, you know, it bothers you even more, because you're making more. And then you start to be angry with yourself, and you feel like you are the problem and stuff, you know, and like, and then you realize, yeah, talking out helps. You will feel lighter, you know, you will feel like, probably, not always, but most of the time. And also, guys, another reason why it's important to share troubles, why it's, for example, why we like so much music that's about sad feelings, that's about broken heart, that's about hate. There's a lot of music like heavy metal that's about hate, that's about like, I wanna kill people, I'm fucking pissed off, I hate life, everybody go to hell, you know, or something like that, like heavy metal music. Because we also have these evil feelings in ourselves. Everybody has them, you know, we have our shadow. And it's good that you express it in a healthy and a safe way, okay? And also, why it's important to express it, okay, with music or with talk. Lot of you can help some, you, by you sharing your story and helping yourself, you can actually help other people, because maybe somebody else is going through the same thing, and they keep it in their mind, and because you say it out loud, you could say it to them, they will feel also better. So not just that you can help yourself, you can also help someone else to open up and to feel less lonely. So it's important, guys, to share. Because I did that yesterday after like, man, weeks of thinking about this one thing, okay? And I just talked about it with someone yesterday, and I was like kind of regretting it, and I felt like, oh, I overshared, I shouldn't say this, and blah blah blah. And I start to guilt tripping myself, okay, that I shouldn't be like this, I shouldn't share it, I should keep it to myself, I should keep myself composed, and I shouldn't bother people with my problems. But it actually really helped, and I feel like I have much more clarity now, and I can like carry on with my life and move on other stuff, you know. I still think about a thing, and I still think like there needs to be things I'm done or like, but like I feel a bit better than I felt yesterday. Yesterday, this one thing was bothering me so much that I couldn't focus on anything else. I was just like, when I was working, when I was talking to other people, when I was doing this, when I was doing that, just this thing was constantly on my mind. It was bothering me so much that I was full of anger, okay? And when I was interacting with other people, I couldn't like mask that anger properly, and I felt like a lot of people thought that I'm angry with them, you know, like here in work and stuff, and it really looked like I'm angry with other people, but I didn't want to talk about what's going on because I was just thinking nobody cares, you know, and why should I bother other people? So instead of it, I was holding it in myself, and I looked like, I think like I made some people think that I'm angry with them or something, you know. And then I just talked to one friend, and then I just talked to one colleague, and I regret it a bit because I've guilt tripped myself that I shouldn't overshare and stuff, which is never true. If you share something, if you are sharing something, talking about something with a good heart, and you just want to share, you know, uh, it's not, and somebody's willing to listen, there's nothing wrong about it. And so, yeah, and then I, and today I feel like I have much more clarity. I have much more clarity on what I said, on the topic. Yeah. And it still didn't solve the issue completely and it's not gone, but I feel like I can today focus more on my work and just like carry on. So it was a bit helpful, honestly. Okay, guys, so thank you for watching, and yeah, think about it, and if you have some problem, try to put it out, try to talk about it or make a painting, uh yep, something like that. You can make a YouTube video and just talk about, you know, whatever problem you have. Yeah, really, you can just make a YouTube video and say, look, this and this is bothering me. It can be your therapy, you know. For me also, this YouTube is like my therapy. So you can make a YouTube video and just talk about something, and you know, if somebody is interested in it, you know, the right people will find it, and maybe it's even better for you because you will feel like, you know, it's gonna be like people who don't really know you and stuff. So okay, whatever, guys. Yeah, try to share out your stuff that's going on in your head. It's important because otherwise it can get rotten. It's like if you have something in your mind for too long, it can get rotten. That's how I would describe it. It's like these thoughts are sometimes like when you are stuck in a negative loop on one thing, the thought can get rotten, and also you start to add to it things that are not even real, and you just like bim, 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 bim. All right, guys, thank you very much for watching. Have a nice day, guys. Bye bye.